So the advantage of lofting is that you can see here where my surface isn't quite where I want it to be, but I've got these circles now that control it because there's a history on the lofted. So as I move the circle, I can change the position of or the shape, if you will, of the rib to kind of get it. And one thing I would encourage you to think about too is see like something like that. That's not quite right. But we go like that. Now we can get it to go. Um, don't don't exclude editing your shell here. It's important at that point the one that's on the vertebra stay there as much as possible. Because if you alter that, you're probably going to lose the articulation there. See if I can do something with this. So at different times I've actually changed that a little bit. In other words, I've changed the shape of this to allow me to keep the rib. It just didn't make sense the way my back here especially, it was just an awkward shape, and by working with these circles I was able to get close, and then I actually changed this because it matched. The two factors that are the most significant is getting the transverse process to be articulating with the rib. So you can see here I'm kind of close with that right there. And what I end up doing actually is like, this is what I'm talking about. I might take this edge here, find its complement on the other side, because I want to make sure if I do something to one side, I do it to the other, because I'm going to flip these ribs later. But see, I can bring that in a little bit, and all of a sudden that rib that looked like it was quite so far out of position isn't that far out of position. It's actually just shape of the shell, which is relatively, arbitrary loose. But see, now I'm starting to get this articulating here, okay? The other thing I can do is actually physically change the vertebra. Even though it's got a displacement map, I can move it around a little bit and work with it, and I'll show you that in just a sec. Let me just get this adjusted just a little better. Sometimes it's actually moving, sometimes it's actually it's rotating, so that the angle of the rib more accurately reflects its position. And that's again what's nice about this shell. It gives you a three-dimensional reference. See, that's coming out a little bit now just because I angled it more. Okay, so that's all adjusted. Pretty close. Pretty good, actually. All right. Oops, I'm sorry. Not as good as I thought.